All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday.
That's what we got here. All right, guys. Morning. We'll let a few more. We're a touch behind schedule here. We'll see if any more will join us. We'll get started very shortly here. Just teeing up our first contestant here. And we'll give it a couple of minutes since we're behind schedule. That's on us. Always something interesting from Grant. So this is, I'm going to check that. PM. Morris, if that comes up, would he give me an 8 hour? All right. Well, so we might have a smaller turnout. Today is always typical with our crew. We have a lighter turnout on traditional. So I opened it up. So there may be one or two cryptos in here today. I think Wonka hit us with it, one or two. All right, let's here. But let's get it started here. Most people watch it after the fact, anyways, because we track our stats here. So we'll go ahead and get started. So you guys know that this is, as I always just kind of intro in case we have new people. Members are submitting their work, and this gives us a chance to kind of review their progress through mastering our methodology. And many of the people that you see posting here have been with us for some time. Not always, right? Yesterday we had a brand new member just laid down some seriously strong Elliott work. But it's both a combination of us being able to just kind of see how they're progressing. Rarely do I see any glaring errors. Every now and then I could give somebody something else to think about as an alternate or suggest an alternate. But I think the real value here is for those that are learning to see the application, but more than anything, it's often a great scan, for lack of a better way to describe it, of people looking for the exact same kind of setups that would be consistent with everything that we teach. So often you'll see things in here that will be just ripe for a trade. I've got some of the best trades I've had in the last year have come from people posting things in here that, as I said, I can't follow everything, right? So it's just hundreds of additional eyes scanning the market, looking for these setups. So there's opportunity in here and there's value in this. And then what I try to do is make sure you understand technically why the trade would make sense, where the risk management would come into play, and then maybe teach a few lessons along the way. So just as a reminder, Monte Crypto, my partner here, is posting up that we do have this Labor Day special. We're running it through midnight Wednesday. Tomorrow night, we'll run that. So it's just something we do on a pretty yearly basis here. If you're interested in getting into the belt system, I would encourage you to look at this. It'll save you a little dough. And as I try to remind people, something like a 3-monther, if you come in and you have the time and the commitment and the discipline to work through the material, in 90 days, you can certainly get through white and blue. Purple might be a bit much, but you might need a little more time. But certainly the white and blue, and that's, I will remind you, if you get through blue, you're ahead of 90+% of the other people trading. Technically, take it into purple, now you're really a solid technician. So just keep those in mind. Again, I'm not one to over pimp stuff, but that is something we don't do all the time. So if you're interested, that's a good way to save a little dough on it. All right, with that, let's go ahead and get started. So first up here, this is from a longtime member who has really, for our membership, he's been pioneering the introduction of harmonics into our methodology. So it's just one more confirmation. A harmonic is just a series of swings that relate to one another with fib relationships, and pioneered by Scott Carney, and really made a name for himself as a great contribution to the TA community. People have mixed opinions about it, but I think if you got a series here that it's all related here by these fib swings, you have a huge confluence point. There's a couple of different ways to trade it. I just very recently was reading a book by a guy who has his own method for trading these. And it's kind of interesting where he would, so in something like this, let's see, do I have a white? Oh, let's see. He would trade this right here. So the break of this trend line would give you this push up here. Oh, where do I want to here? So there's a number of different ways to trade this. God, I never get these. I never get them on the first click, right? So something like that on the break of that trend line where you're breaking the B and the X here. So you can see how he's integrating some Elliott with the harmonic. So the 5 down gives us the A, right? Now this is pretty much of a straight rip. So because of that, don't be confused by the B here. That's not a B per Elliott, but you have an X, A, B, C, D in harmonic labeling. This is just a straight line, so not hard to call that corrective, but he gets the correction completed through the WXY to give us the pivot down here. Now this is we're fairly close to the 1.414. Then here's your retrace that brings it down. Now starting up here, do we have an impulse here? I don't know. It's a bit of a dig to get it out of there. Looks like you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to put you into your PRZ and harmonic language. This is the potential, right? Emphasis, potential reversal zone. Now we start to combine a few components here, and this looks pretty interesting. So you've got can I get it in here? Yeah, I can. Okay, so we've got 5 up to give us a candidate here for his 1 in Elliott labeling. Now, as we start the correction, interesting that we've done it through a 5. Now, this gets a little complex, right? This is tricky. So we go A, and then we go WXY into the B down here, and then this it's a tricky one. This has got to be A, B, C. So he's working. Do you see here? Let me put that in something brighter so we can see it. All right. So it's A, B, C to give us the B. And then now the anticipation is you'd come down. So you're looking for 5 down. So thus you see he's got some pretty big targets, and usually he'll give me 3 targets here. And this is a smart way to trade the market. So you've got very specific targets. So this would be your first. And I would tell you, Grant, I might, use all this area here as maybe an early spot here, because that likely you're going to get a bounce here. But that could be just part of the subdivision of the 3 here. But this would be an area to be paying attention. And my guess is I remember now always an algo on the other side. So let me let's get here. You'd be a little skinny here, but you can just see the prior resistance, right? Potentially now sets up for some support. But here, right, I don't want to dissuade you from your trading plan, and he's had great success with these. So looking for the 1, 2, here's the entry point, right? So the idea is not to try and say, okay, it's a potential reversal zone, not a guaranteed reversal zone. Now he's combined a few things. Note the set of median lines here. So coming off of this corner, 80%, right? Now I feel like I'm repeating myself all the time, but there's your good odds, right? There's your 80%. Now look where we go. Literally ping the median line. I say this often, right? I cannot make this stuff up, right? So here again, as long as this holds, we got 80%, we get there, boom, right? So again, not trying to pick the turn, because you don't need to be that guy. You don't need to pick the turn. Wait for the reaction. Good probability that we get one there. That's trading principle number 1, 80% that we get there. Number 2, if we're not going to ping right on the median line, which often you'll see that we will, it might hover around it before it moves away or pushes up to go get the upper parallel, right? So there's nothing that says that we must pivot here, but it's a high probability location. Now we add in, you'll note here's the 786 from this swing, right? Which would be a good candidate for a B. So you've got that nice confluence here. So note, right, bang the median line, right? So this 80% realized. We've got a 786 prime zone for a B, right? We can see the Elliott count is confluent with what's happening, but then note here, as I take this down to a 2-hour, he's got another set of median lines in here. Now from this corner, right, we ping that median line multiple times. So there's no additional benefit here other than the framing of the move up. So the 80% was burned early, right? You got that quickly. But now when median lines are that narrow, often you'll get them quickly and repeatedly. So through the whole push up, you're just pinging off the median line. Median line back to the low, median line back to the parallel, median line back to the parallel. Now up here, let's see if he's got anything below. He doesn't, right? So no indicators are necessary here. because we're not making some, okay, we're overbought, oversold. It's just we've got a confluence point. Now, do we get the reaction? That's why you wait. So you let the reaction come and then look for the first retrace, because the people that get the turn will be tempted to take a little profit. If any sort of retrace starts to kick, you'll get a lot of people, they're scalpers, right? Or shorter term swing trade, I guess 4 hour, you wouldn't call that a scalp, but swing down and get the retrace. Now you've defined your risk, right? As he's done here. So look at just his first one alone. There's 6.73 to 1. And we got here 10.84. He gets the big one. You got 15.19. So great risk reward. Now, if this pops up here and you get stopped out, okay, right? Nobody likes to get stopped out, but at least you're defining the risk and be a good risk reward, right? You can't do it. There's no magic bullet. There is no, oh God, that works all the time. This is really what people don't emphasize. They get so caught up over here, they forget that this is what defines your profitability over time. This is what separates the amateur focuses over here, thinking about all the money they can make. The professional looks over here and says, well, how much could I lose on this trade? Because the professional knows you're going to be wrong more than you're right, despite all the confluence here, right? There is no reason not to take this trade other than you don't have the reaction yet. This is what you need to focus on right here, right? What's the risk reward? Because if I can do this consistently over time, where I'm only risking this to make that, and let's say you hit 3 out of 10, I mean, it's the oldest analogy in trading, right? The baseball analogy, right? You get a hit 3 out of 10 times up to the plate, you're going to the Hall of Fame. Right. But in trading, oh my God, I'm only right 3 out of 10. Oh my God, what a disaster. It's only a disaster if you're doing stupid shit like that. Right? Most of the time, people that are struggling in the market, right, it's self-inflicted wounds, almost always. So just keep that in mind. You've got this is the fun part, right? Can I solve the puzzle? Oh, look at all the fun things that I can put into here. Man, oh, that looks great. I love the setup. But this is what determines your success over time. Right? Can you manage the risk? Can you sit with something long enough to allow it to realize a target like that at 15.19 to 1? Can you stay with that? Very hard to do. Easy to say, right? Easy to draw this up, right? But it takes discipline. I mean, this takes time to keep your hands off the mouse, right? I mean, you can look at it right here, right? So you say, hey, there's a swing. So I know when this starts to come down, hey, there's likely to be an algo that kicks in here, likely to be one that kicks in here. Can it get this far down? Well, therein lies the value add of Elliott, right? So can I see, do I get a 1-2? Right? First off, can I get 5 out of the chute? If I do, then I like this trade all the better. Right? Can I get 5-3? Well, then that's a no-brainer, right? You take the trade. Again, why would you not take that, right? If you're looking for an asset to trade, why? Now this, something like Philip Morris, you could do this with options, but if you're going to go out this far, shit, you're buying a leap there. So, it would depend on your time horizon, right? If you got 5.6 to 1 out of an option trade, I doubt you'd be disappointed. So this might be, if you're trading this with options, you might take a good chunk of it here and then roll out to longer term options if you liked what you saw. And it looked like it was an unfinished impulse heading down. So just some things to think about here. But in terms of the setup, if you're a traditional asset trader, this should be on your watch list, right? You've got all the confluences there, right? I don't know that he could stack this any better. I added this on, right? Just in terms of looking where he might run into some resistance on the way down, right? It takes very hard, right? Because as soon as you get this, you're thinking, oh shit, oh, here it comes, right? Fear, right? That's what drives it, right? That's what keeps you going, oh shit, man, I better just take the profit, right? And then it rolls over and it goes into you like you missed it, right? Well, pardon me, you didn't realize its full potential. So when you get a 15 to 1, think of how many little losers that compensates you for, right? But if you've got one of these that you let get away from you, again, because you were not disciplined, didn't follow a trading plan, moved your stop, all the things we've all done that are easy to do, right? Oh, fuck, I know that thing's going down. Damn it, I'll give it a little more room, right? Self-inflicted wounds, always self-inflicted. To get to something like that takes a lot of discipline, a lot of practice, a lot of time to say, okay, I'm going to let it realize. Because to get out of it, there would have to be something that would happen here to change your opinion about what you're seeing. So if I move this off, if we came out of it and you came down here and you had something happening on a smaller degree, right? Maybe you got that. Now, what are you thinking? Right. That not likely to be the two, right? So something has changed here that might have you reevaluate. So it's not that you blindly go, well, shit, I should stay short until I get to that target. No, you evaluate, right? Elliott Wave's constantly guiding you through your analysis in terms of, is it still on track to what I was initially anticipating? Is it? Okay. Well, if it is, we're looking for 5 down here, right? We have to finish in a 5. Right. So that unto itself is immense value to Elliott Wave, because you're disqualifying potential turning points. No, I'm not going to trade that. It's not a 5. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't rally off of a 3 and you're like, well, fuck, I was wrong about the whole thing. That's not what I'm saying. This is guiding you in that decision-making process, so it reduces one more thing you got to worry about. I know I got to finish with a 5. So if I get here, I'm probably not done. But then you would look at it and you'd think, if that's 5 down and I'm looking for a 5, is that my 2? Is that my 1? Am I doing this right? Is Philip Morris going that low? You might mix in some fundamental analysis there just to look around the space. What are the numbers? You can track earnings here. What's going on in the broader market? There's a lot of things that might influence that decision as you sit right there. If you get this, right, something, there's a little 5 that comes down here, something, oh God, I'm doing this freehand, something like this. Okay, am I done here? I know I'm looking for a 5. Am I done here? Well, probably not, right? So now you're thinking, oh shit, man, 1, that looks like the 1, 2. 1, 2. Oh, now I'm loving it. 3, 4. That doesn't mean we couldn't be done there, right? But it's on plan. So you stay, or you partial, right? And you get to reload on all these retracements or potential reloads, right? So see, if you take the 5 down and you got a big kick here, it could go 786. It just did 786. So do you want to give back 78% of your gains on the 1? That's the reality of trading. You got to make that decision for yourself, right? No one can tell you what to do here. You got to decide. That's 5 down. That looks like a candidate for the 1. Am I willing to sit through the retrace of the 2? Because if it's going to follow your plan, it's got to retrace, or you're not going to get a 5. Are you willing to sit through 78% retracement? See, that's the value, right? If it comes down here and he's got clear target points, if this will be, and this is typical of what the market will do, right? It won't, oh shit, man, it didn't make my target. So now what do I do, right? I got a completed 5. Well, because you've got the completed 5, then you get the luxury of deciding, hey, am I willing to sit through this going back 50, 61, 65, 78, 87? I mean, shit, you got to have an expanded B. There's all sorts of scenarios here. You get to make that decision here. Do I want to take 60% out here? Right? It's the money management, right, that separates the pro from the amateur. Right? But nobody, right? It's the least talked about part of trading, right? Because everybody wants to focus over here. This stuff, that's for my accountant. Nice work. Great. I mean, Grant F is, he always puts, so one, it's thoughtful, right? So he doesn't just go, well, hey, I'm a harmonic trader, so he throws up harmonics here for us, which is perfectly valid, right? But he always includes the detail, right? So here's the 3 at the 1618. He accounts for every swing. It's just quality work, quality technical analysis, period, with the emphasis on money management. You can learn from this. So there's a setup, right? If you're looking for a setup, I'd certainly have that on my watch list. Nice work, Grant. Okay, his are easy. So let me do another one because I don't have to do much other than maybe offer some commentary. So that's Philip Morris. What else we got here, Grant? MCS. Let's see. Do I have your link correct? I don't think I do. Give me that. There we go. MCS. I'll give this a sec to load here. All right. Oh, look, there it is again, right? Do you see? I haven't even gotten into this yet. Do you see the consistency of his approach? Right. Every swing accounted for. Now we get the combination of the Elliott count in conjunction with the harmonic, right? So it's just one more confluence point. So here, now this is kind of interesting, right? So you've got potentially the reaction has already started. It might be a little bit early. There's nothing that says it must roll over and come down to the golden zone. That just gives us a little more conviction in the trade. So here's the PRZ. So you've got this whole rate. Well, it's like pinged right here. Oh, let's see here. So I got to get his Elliott. So here's the one, right? So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 takes us up A, B, C into the B. And now we've gone 1, 2. Looks like, that's a little tight in there. Looks like that would be 3, 4. It's because that looks like a 3 that's correcting that. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to do this. So bear with me, guys. Grants are usually so good, I rarely have to do this. So bear with me while I want to pop in there. If I'm working on his image, I can't open it up. But just another, right? Already, you want to get that on your watch list. Now, this is, what is he doing here? I got to see what he's got set up in there. 1, 1, 6. Oh, that's 1, 2, 7, 2. Okay, so he's using the length of A to B projected from C. This looks like it's his 1, 2, 7, 2. So I don't have his. Oh, there we go. Here's his 1, 2, 7. Here's his 1, 6, 1, 8. So here's the butterfly. Oh, this is nice. Right? I didn't even see that he had done that. So he's giving me, it's because it's way the hell over here. This is his potential reversal zone. Do you see how he's labeled this up? So he knows. See, if you do this work in advance, then when it comes time to execute, you're ready for it. It's just click, pull the trigger. Your stop, you know where you're going to put your stop, right? You've got a trading plan. You understand why you're taking the trade. You've got targets. You've got your risk defined. Again, that's the real shit right there. That's what it takes. And it's not, I mean, what's the only thing that he's done differently here? He's done the TA, but then he's giving you his trade plan right here, right? That's the difference. 3 targets. One of these, right, offsets a lot of these little losers. That's why I always tell you, if it's just small loser, these are jabs, right? These are jabs. Don't let the fucking uppercut to the jaw come through. You're doing it to yourself. You just lead with your chin, like hit me. I'm going to move my stop. Hit me. Trust me, the market will take you up on that. It'll hit you if you do that. It's amazing capacity, right? The market self-regulates traders. If you're making mistakes, it will punish those mistakes until you stop making them. I can try and teach you, right? And can save you from learning it in real time as I did, right? We're trying to shorten that learning curve. That's really our whole objective. Market's ultimately your greatest teacher. If anything, if I can save you one time where you don't do that, well, then I feel like I've made a contribution, right? Which is what we're trying to do here. Okay, so we've got the 1, we've got a clear 3 into the 2. Oh, there's a little complexity to it. We've got an unusual B, right? You've got the expanded B in the B, right? This takes a little Elliott skill, but Grant's skilled Elliottician. Now it looks like we're coming down. You could come down here, so you're kind of left hanging there. Do you want to bite on it now? Well, that looks like you've got the good start. I might take a nibble here, right? So you don't get left because you're right golden zone. Now it's a little, you're front running the potential for the what are we doing here? A butterfly? I think it is a butterfly or a bat. We're front running that a little bit so as not to get left. Individual decision, right? Can you get a clean 5 out of that? Oh, that's tricky. So either you sit here and you wait and say, okay, it looks like that's got to have one more push down. So you're looking for that. Remember, we have to finish with a 5, right? So you're looking for one more kick down here to finish that before it goes. But if it starts to go on you here, you got to make an individual decision. Okay, could we be done here at the 1, 2, 7, 2, front running the golden zone? You got to make that decision for yourself. The safest thing to do is let it play out, right? Let's see. We're sitting at the golden zone, so you can see, right? Are we going to get a reaction here or not? Do we get a reaction? If we do, then okay, maybe I want to wait for something like that. Wait, I get a little retrace. Right now, I'd have to adjust my trading plan. So my guess is what Grant's going to do, because I know he's at this long enough where he has good discipline. He's going to sit and wait. Now, if it gets here, great, takes the trade. If not, next chart. Not that complicated. Hang on one second. I'm burning up. 97 today in Austin, so it's hot in my office. Nice work as usual. So Marcus Corporation, I have zero idea what they do. Don't need to know. Right, I remind you, right, that it's just the nature of technical analysis, right? All the known fundamentals are factored into the price, right? Price is reality. Price is truth, right? Analysts, fundamentals, the data, their P ratio, all of that is already factored into that price, right? That's what the market determines as fair value for Marcus Corporation, based on all those fundamentals. He didn't even have earnings in here. It's just a technical setup with a trade plan, right? So here it is, right? Demonstrated right in front of your face. That's how you trade. That's how you go from amateur, oh, look at all the fun stuff over here, to professional. Thanks, Grant, for those two, right? I'd certainly put those on my watch list. Okay, next up, what do I got? Oh, I got Marco D. Oh, I know he gave me something that looked very good. I thought this was the first one, so I already had this teed up, ready to go. All right, so we'll make good time here. Now, this is some really creative Elliott, because you see the problem that he has right off the bat. So you're thinking to yourself when this kicks, right? If you're back reviewing, you're thinking, hey, 1, 2, whoa. Well, that's right. Can't be 3, can't be 1, 2, 3. So what have you got here? You're running right into a problem. So this is where, again, you love it or you hate it, right? So to the Elliottician, like, oh, how am I going to challenge that, right? So there's what I tell you guys, right? That's all the market ever does, right? It's just doing it with complexity here. So how do you solve this, right? So it can't be 1, 2, 1, 2. Right, because you don't get a 3. So you're kind of wrestling with this, going, could I squeeze it in here, right? Because it looks like you could go 1, 2, 1, 2. Is this a 3, 4? But you'd probably need that to finish the 5. Remember, you always finish with a 5. Always, always, always. So right out of the chute, well, I got a leading diag here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, that's a candidate for a 1 or an A. Now here you'd been thinking 2, but right? You don't get it. Or so you might have been thinking, oh, ABC, we're going lower, but then again, that doesn't happen. So along the way, you could have been wrong here multiple times, because it's a very unusual progression. It's not until here where we get a clean 5. So what he's doing here, and Marco, you left me hanging here. You didn't give me the subdivision here, but no, I'm kind of busting your balls here. So there's A. Now he goes A, B, C to get the B. So I should have done it this way. So it's a little tricky, right? So he's got the A. So we're looking for the correction. So he does a running flat. Well, are we running? Yeah, it is a running. All right. So here's the B, right? So it's unusual shape, right? But it's swing. Now remember, it always starts, there's a swing. We're either going to break this side or this side. Right, we break it here, but in the Elliott context, because we're looking for something corrective, because we didn't get a 3. Okay, process of elimination. It's a 3. What could it be? Well, I can have a 3 in my B. A, B, C into the B. All right, now I know where I am. Unusual. Now I get a 5. I get a clear diag. Right, 3 is longer than 1. 5 is longer than 3. So the larger internal correction, this is unusual, is right there, which is, once again, it's all the market ever does, right? You get a swing, you get a retracement. We're going to either break this pivot or this pivot, right? We break that one and we do it in 5, right? We always have to end in 5. So what could this be? Process of elimination. If we're going to have a complex correction, you'd be thinking, oh, A, B, C into the W, A, funky B, C into the X. Okay, I got a W, X, Y into a 2. Now that takes some study and some practice and some skill, and seeing, that's screen time and practice and posting up content and people saying, oh, you dumbass. No, you can't have that. I mean, that's not well, I shouldn't say it that way. That might be your own internal, oh, I can't have that. Oh, I should have known that. Right. We're never harsh on, if somebody posts something. We're not going to say, hey, dumbass, you can't have that. But we might say, hey, something to think about here is that if you're going to do that B wave here, well, then what would that be in the context of? To get my point here. We want you to post, right? We don't want you to be like, God, I can't post until I have it absolutely perfect. I can't post until I'm a blue belt or purple belt or black belt. Post away. That's how you learn. You want the feedback. So funky, but it works. Down for the 2. All right, so he's now nailed. Okay, well, here's clearly, right, this was support. All right, so what comes off of it? Well, it's pretty much of a straight rip up, right? So, well, he's not labeling it here, which I would always prefer that you do. But it's just it's just a straight line up, right? So it's impulsive, right? So when it does something like that, right, it's not corrective. It's impulsive, right? It's just straight freaking line, right? So and then what you do is you work backwards. You go, okay, well, that sure looks like that little cluster here. We're going sideways, right? We're not progressing the trend. We're just going sideways, little holding pattern, high probability for a 4. So, okay, 5, 4, working on my way backward. Looks like you got to go 1, 2 here. So 1, 2, big 3, sideways 4, because we had a sharp 2 up to the 5. Okay, so I can qualify it. Now, this is where this is actually quite tricky in here. So you have to work with what the market gives you here. So this is just a cluster. This is, you're doing your best guesstimate here, right? So when the market's here, you don't know what the hell's going on, right? There is no clear pattern you can identify. Oh, I see exactly what's happening here. It needs, you hear me say this often, the market has to reveal itself a little bit more. Oh, all right. Oh, okay. So what are we doing? All right. We've had this massive swing up. Now we're correcting it. So this is all the market ever does, right? So we're either going to break this pivot or we're going to break this pivot. Now, it might take 3 years to do it, but one way or another, we're going to break one of those two pivots. Now, take note in the midst of this, right? Do you see the median lines that he's got in there? Right. So I don't want to ever leave those out. It's one of the cornerstones of what we're doing. So he's doing two things. One, he's got an Elliott channel on this through the 1, 2, right? We're seeking the 3. We don't have this yet. So we know these are candidates up here. But once we get this corner, I mean, is there a video I've done ever that didn't have this? I don't think so. Right. So here from the corner, here's our 80%. So anyone who's, well, members, obviously, right? But anyone who's watched this on YouTube, it would confound me if you don't have set of median lines on every single chart you draw, right? I've shown that so many times. How could you not have that on your chart? That would strike me as foolish, right? You know, you got 80%. What, again, right? As long as this holds, boom, there's your 80%. Now we're retracing it, right? Impulse correction. Now the correction here is definitely challenging. So let's go back in there. You have to go down to the hourly. So what do you do with that? Well, because it's unclear, you're making your best educated guess. Okay, 1, 2, A, B. Well, it's a tricky one. So that would, you might have a little hesitation here because it's so unusual. Well, what are we getting here if I get this back on the pivot here? All right, where are we? In the golden zone. All right, so there's a reasonable expectation here that beyond that, right? You can see the first reaction. Now that doesn't mean that it must hold, right? It's just right? I mean, because there was an algo right here or here. There doesn't mean it's got to hold, but you're in a zone here where it potentially could hold. Well, look what you're getting here for your ABC, right? This is one of those JDLR, right? It doesn't look right. Right, that's what I got. It could be. Right. I would now if we come out of here and we get this reaction, right? So we're tapping it twice. You got a little gap down here, right? When you're trading traditionals, be wary of the gaps, right? Market does not like to leave unfilled gaps. So this would be this definitely one I would not take until I saw the reaction come out of here. I want to see something come out of here. At least give me this. Right. And I'd want to see even if I have to go down to a 5 minutes, show me a 5, right? Give me something to work with here because this is so unusual to have that very tiny little straight up B, right? There's barely any subdivision to it. But so if I hide that, you might have been thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to put my B over here. So you could go A, B, C into the B, right? You might think that. All right. Well, then you're kind of now you're wrestling with it. So I guess all I'm doing here is just proposing an alternate. Well, 1, 2, God, that could be it. That could do it. So you could have a C at either one of these here. I'd have to dig down in here shorter time frame, but that's a candidate. So now you're thinking, well, an alternate possibly, although this would be a very shallow X, maybe I got something like that. And if that goes deeper, then you might roll into something thinking, perhaps this is so unusual and the imbalance between A and C is enough that you might put that in as an alternate, even though ideally you want the X at least at 50, right? But the market doesn't always give it to you. Elliott is not perfect. right? So don't anticipate that it's going to be perfect at every swing. Could it be? Well, it's, this would be guideline, right? Not a rule. The X does not have to go 50, right? It would be a guideline. All right, okay, it's not ideal, but if this kicks down one more time, that's likely where I'd go with it. All right, well, can I get an A, B, C? And do I finish with 5? Remember, we got to finish with 5. So either it's that as he had it, right? Either 1, 2, 8, that's, you got to live with that B, and you finish the 5, which already looks a little, ideally it would have finished down here, right? And then you get the reaction, right? Now you're back retesting. So if you were in that with a stop under the 65, right? You gave back a little, and now it looks like, possibly you're going to get stopped out, but you're not stopped out until you are stopped out. I'd be very mindful of that gap down there, right? That wouldn't surprise me if the market comes down here. Now, if it does that, you're losing the buy side algo. So how can you pick one up again? Well, you're not going to pick one up again until you get a move down that gets a reaction. Then you're going to get it on a smaller degree, right? So ideally, when you're out here, here even on a 60, you want the bigger degree, right? You want the larger algo to push it, right, for a bigger return. If I get this one, I get a little baby one here, even that one. Oh, okay, well, that's a lot different. And my target is going to be a lot different than this one, right? So recognize here that at this moment in time, we have a golden corner. Right, we are in the golden zone. This is the definition of a golden corner. Now, do we have that? Tough, right? Or is it as he labeled it here, where it's A, B, and the C is in? I would keep this just as an alternate. Right? It's not great. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'd have to. Oh shit! Looks like you'd have to do 1, 2, 3. Right? This would have to be the 4. Right? Since we have a new low here, you have to go A, B, C. Now, do I have enough there to finish? Question more. So I'd wait for that to kick. I'd sure have it on my watch list though, but if I can get something like that. But I'd want literally you could take this trade right now with, such a small amount of risk, right? So I was saying this the other day. I saw this post from another educator, and I liked it, so I'm borrowing it as a good example. It's just a variation of what I've been saying to you guys for a long time, right? We want to buy as close to where we're wrong as we possibly can, right? Are you doing that here? Can you buy it any closer to where you're wrong? Not much, right? If you're going to use the 65 or give it a little cushion, maybe use the 707 here, right? Do you want to give it that much risk? Well, you got an upside. You might. Right? If it holds, again, you don't need to be a hero and pick the turn, because it doesn't look to me like you could finish that. Even if I go down to a 15, it doesn't look like 1, 2, 3. Well, maybe it looks like there could be one more kick down. If that's the 4 and we're going to kick down, well, then you break the 65. Then you got to reevaluate here. Do I want it? Losing that buy side algo at the larger degree, right? It's the joy of trading, right? The decision making. Well, it's all about those decisions that you make. Is that good enough for you? Right, for me, I'd wait. But good candidate and some good Elliott. So there it is, right? The combination of Elliott, fibs, geometry. Well done, Marco. All right, Pizza Man. All right, we haven't looked at silver for a while, and people are hot about that. Let's see. So I got this one has to go. This one goes. And let me get Pizza Man silver over here. All right. What are you thinking, Pizza Man? Pizza Man, definitely a candidate for our most improved trader of the year. He's on the list. Okay. So let me take that over here. Takes a sec for his labeling to come up. All right, so it's working the XAG, right? So you guys with Forex accounts can trade the CFD rather than the futures, right? So you can take a smaller bite of it. Do they have micro silver? I don't know if they do. Well, they probably do. I know they have micro gold. But the advantage of working with the CFDs, you don't have to take as big a swing, smaller margin, because you can take a micro or a mini in the FX market. Okay, so this is all right. It takes me a minute to decipher. All right, so I'd like to see this. Now, I know, right, it's a little hard to see when you bring it up here. It takes me a minute to decipher, but when it's your chart, you know exactly what you've got on here. Let's see, did he have any comments? No, he didn't. Okay, so I'm going to let's see, this corner is in. He's got another one here. So we're hitting the outside edge. All right, so I'm going to, Monty, don't let me forget to bring that back. Okay, so here's the impulse into the one. So coming off of the, is that our COVID? Yeah, this is the COVID low. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so all the subdivision is accounted for. And when you're breaking that subdivision and impulse, the most important part of it is, do you have the impulse in the 3? All right, that's a qualifier. Can't have an impulse without an impulse in the 3. So so you can eliminate scenarios. Okay, well, can I finish this? Do I have a clear 5? I got it clear 5. Well, right here, you might have been thinking, oh, okay, well, hey, A, B, C, down I go. Hey, off we go. 1, 2, I'm into the big 3. Well, right off the bat, that would have been very narrow. So the whole thing would have been, just unusually tight, right? For the entire thing to go in that range, right? If this was the 2, that would be a really narrow range here, but possible, right? In a raging bull. I mean, shit, look at Bitcoin, right? On the way up from the COVID low, right? Very little retracement along the way. So I can account for everything here. It doesn't surprise me we've taken more time. Now, you wouldn't want to be connecting. It actually works out, right? So you wouldn't want to be connecting all of this sideways action with anything down here because the time imbalance is way too severe. So the fact that we can complete the impulse here, now this makes sense. Okay, so with guidelines of alternation, I'm getting one big fat sideways 2, which will influence my thinking if indeed we kick out of here in a 3 with what to expect in the 4. Big sideways action. Look at it all. Look, right. You can so certainly understand here. So what are we? We're not progressing a trend here. If anything, we're tapping the lower side of it here. So when the market's doing this, well, you can see it, right? It's pretty obvious, right? We go up here. Now you wouldn't have necessarily known right here, right? But as we have established this volume profile here in this range we're in, right? As we come down here, that's an area to be thinking, hey, well, maybe I can play it to the other side of the range. And if we get out of the range, right? You wouldn't want to be a buyer here, but not necessarily a seller because you want to see what happens up here. Because if we come out of this, right now, you want to look for that, right? Test all that structure. This is good looking work here. All right, let's dig in here a little bit. So we got to go A, B, C. Now, again, you wouldn't have known, right? Over here, you don't know. You could have been thinking, well, shit, man, it could be. So maybe you took that. If your stop was here, you're probably still long. Although this thing has, if you were thinking 1, 2 into the 3, now obviously you've rethought all of that. But if you're coming to this today, as we are, and I don't know if Pizza Man's been trading this, you're kind of looking at it saying, well, how do I make sense of this? Okay, you certainly, there's complexity here, but this is the lowest low. So it looks like you'd have to do it this way to get your 3 into the X, right? Same thing, right? It's all the market ever does. There it is. Okay, so we got 3 here. Now it looks like same thing, right? It's just always the same, right? I try to emphasize this to try and simplify the market to you. That's all it ever does. And it's just a variety of swing structure that's within that, but in the largest degree. Think about it this way. What are we doing here? We've got a swing. We're working on the retrace. All right, if it does that, all right, it's just the same thing over and over and over again. Simplify the market, right? When in doubt, simplify, right? So even though you look at this, you go, God damn, man, WXY, what is all the complexity in the X? It's just a swing with a retrace. And we're retracement traders, right? I want to buy it when it's retracing, not when it's ripping up. A, B, right? Now, so we got to finish in a 5, right? So if this is WX, I can't finish with, note here, I'm saying you got to finish with the 5, but you can do it within the confines of an ABC, right? So as long as the C has a 5, we're good to go, right? We have a qualified candidate, nothing more, a candidate for the low because we finish in a 5. All right, so he's got geometry on this, right? So it's a correction. So as I always will teach you, if in a correction, don't go original recipe right off the bat. You go original, right? It's too steep. Now you're thinking, oh shit, man, didn't make the median line. In a correction, you want to start with the shift, right? Because we're correcting it. So now we tag the lower parallel here. You've got that same 80%. So you got that. Oh, where's my arrow here? All right. So this was easy, right? Got it quickly, right? Straight to the median line. Boom. Okay, 80% is burned, right? So now what is it going to do? Are we going to hover around the median line? Are we going to go to the other side? Great. Now we're back to the median line. Back down, or are we going to the other side, right? So it's always like the median lines are framing it for you. Where's the geometry of what this market is doing? Oh, what are you giving me? A daily? Let's go to the 8, see if I can see in there a little bit better. All right, just draw your eye to it. Vegas wave, right? If this was going to rip here, right, you'd have gotten on the other side of it. Now, where are we here? So 1, 2, I'm going to 1, 2, 3. I think he wants his 3 here. What it'll move when you change time frames. 1, 2, 3. That looks like ABC into the 4. So if you're looking, right, so then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I not only do I get, can I finish in 5? Well, pardon me. I can get an impulse. Remember the qualifier for an impulse is that I've got an impulse in the 3. So the 1, 2, 3 idea is qualified. Okay, so I've got a good candidate here. Has he got that locked? No, I got a good candidate here for the 3 because I can see the impulse. I can qualify it. A, B, C. What am I looking for? After I get the 3, what am I looking for? A 3, right? 5s and 3s, right? That's, if you want to simplify Elliott, you just train your eye. 5s and 3s. Where are the 3s? Where are the 3s? So you can work from, see, easy. The 5s are usually easy. You got to sort out the 3s, and there can be a lot of complexity in the 3s, as we're seeing here through the W, X, Y, A, B, C, right? 24 different types of corrections. You got an impulse or a diagonal. Oh, you got a couple of types of diagonals, but the complexity of Elliott always comes in the corrections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have a candidate here for the Y, for the 2 relative to that big 1 that we put in over here. And we've got a big sideways correction. Now, is that what we wanted off the start? Well, it certainly looks like you'd have to work with a diagonal. So you got the major wick here, which is a little problematic. So right off the bat, you know, whenever I see those, right, I want to get back to the closing only here. So here's my lowest close. The wicks, you know, that's news driven, likely stops getting run, people getting liquidated, all sorts of shit happening there because it snaps back, right? Look at the snapback, right? But you got to account for it here. So it's part of the 5, right? So this is the 100%. Looks like that's going to be his A to B. So the length of the A projected from the B, that's what it is. So here's the 100%. So it's giving me a technical confluence point right here in addition to, what do we got here? Oh, what is this gold? I know that could just be, that's a channel. Pardon me. Right. I thought maybe it was a 618 because my 618s are gold. Okay. So he's got a channel. Do you see the channel in gold? Right. So we've got the confluence of a candidate, right? So remember this line is drawn from the W and the X, right? So he's framing that is that just coincidence that we hit there? 1, 2, 3 times that's been tested, but you don't get a great start here. So because that's a little bit ugly, what's our alternate here? Well, we could go into a double. So you could have another X. So we could have W, X, Y, X, Z, right? So this process, you just connect another ABC through another 3 in here. And the only reason I go there is because that's not a great start, right? It's okay. Maybe I can dig a 5 into that, but the 5 looks better off of this pivot. 1, I don't even think that you could get that, right? So that's not going to be far enough. So you can just look at that. This would be the sort of swing. So you'd have to be thinking along these. Well, shit. Let me get the internal here. Looks like you'd have. God damn it! Hang on, I'll get it eventually here. This looks like you'd have to be thinking ABC here. So let's go micro yellow. So 1, 2. So already you're going. Oh, shit. What am I doing with that wick? So this is a problem spot. Eliminate the wick, and this is your low. See, now this is where I'm not such a purist where I go, oh, shit, if I can't qualify that, what can I see is that it seems to start from this pivot right here. So one thought is that you've actually got the 5 here, and that all of this comes here, right? That's possible here, and this is just reactionary. It's just fear, liquidation. Because this potentially finishing, you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 could finish it. So I might start here, but I would highlight this as, if I do it when it's me on my charts, I do it this way. So I go, hey, I got a problem there. That potentially, if this count starts to fall apart, I know to circle back here. 1, 2, tough one, right? So right off the bat, you don't love it because it's not really giving you what you're expecting, right? You'd like to see an impulse come out of here, but if it's going to be 1, 2, I'm going to get a diag. Geez, I got a big degree there. We can go micro. If it's going to be 1, 2, ABC into a 3, so now you're kind of tied to the diagonal structure. Oh, I suppose you could do this. It's not great, right? So this is a little choppy. So you could, a couple things you could do here, right? If Pizza Man, if you like this, I suppose I would do a couple things here. We're out of log here, so I'd put a regression. Jeez, I'm sloppy with the mouse today. I might do it from low to high. Okay, so I'm a little sideways here. Now in a diag, we're looking for the fib. I'd do both. I'd check both. I'm looking for that 4 at the 50. So I want to see that there, if that's what I've got. If it's 1, 2, already the 2's a little shaky. See, these don't look related. It looks like, I want to put it here. This all looks like it's part of the same finish. 1, 2, 3. So I'd be tentative here. Not sure I would chase that just yet. I'd be watching this closely. Let me take this off here. If I get the 4, 5 from this, if I get that, then I would kind of lean into the idea. I got a sloppy bottom down here. Nobody likes a sloppy bottom, right? So we would just go, okay, sideways fuckery, right? Whatever you want to call it, right? So yeah, if I complete the 5 here, I'm just going to go, all right. Yeah, I guess I deal with it, right? So if that's what I got out of this, I'd lean into the idea that I had the 1, and this was just, again, maybe it's 3, 4, and we truncate the 5 here because of that being all wick. 1, 2, 3. So I'd be tentative here, Pizza Man. I wouldn't jump here. I'd want to qualify it. So give me the 5 up here, and then I would be looking for the correction. Right, give me the 3 to come back down. Then. All right. So now if I get that, I have a little more conviction in the bull trend carrying on. And then of course, the first thing I could do, all right, is draw that. But of course, now when we're looking for something going this direction, now I'm going to go back to original recipe. And you'd have to include both of them. It'll look like the angle is going to be very close. You'd have to check for both of them. All right, so it's a sloppy bottom. So if we get that 5, I'm with you. Right. Otherwise, this would be watch list, but I don't think I'd be trading this just yet. Now, the other thing to look for here, this looks like it's already to and through, but that's interesting, right? So if I use this pivot right to the golden zone reaction, right? Algo doesn't care about the Elliott count, so you'd have to go back 1. So I'd go here, kind of in between. So I'd be watching this one. I don't think I'd trade that, Pizza Man. That's just me, right? If you're in and you like it, have at it. Just any one of these pivots would work for your stop. I might use that one right there. All right, let's see. Okay, I got Marco D. Let's keep moving here. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're good. I got Marco D with the euro. Always glad to see some FX traders in here. Oh, let's see. All right, euro to the USD. Let's put that over here. All right, guys, let's get that done. That one's done. All right, Euro USD. Marco's going to give me good work. All right, so right off the bat, I already like what I see because he's framed, got all the geometry accounted for. Let me copy real quick and get a live chart. Tough, right? So right off the bat, you're looking at that going, oh, wow, right? But you can kind of see all the 3s. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Ugly, right? So the euro's all over the place, but this is nice work, right? So A, B, C, right? Because you might have been thinking A, B, C to finish here, but what comes off of that, you're not even taking out this pivot. So just process of elimination, right? As this has rolled over. Oh God, I've looked at this so many times here. This is nice. This And this is the times we've looked at the euro, right? This is uncountable, right? There are sections where, okay, could you put some labels on it? Sure. But really it's just a drift lower with no distinction, right? So there are times, this can be central bank related or politics. And I think that's all through Brexit, right? Where it's just, there really is no subdivision there that's worthwhile, right? So you just wait for it to finish. So A, B, C. So he gets a running flat. Oh, what are we doing here? Oh, pardon me. He's doing a running triangle. So we've got A, B, C, D, E into the B. All right, that's creative. Okay, so from this pivot, all right, I get, all right, here's the corner, right? You see the median lines here. So it looks like that is a modified shift, right? So there's your 80% banged. We don't quite make the other side, but we get it here. So retrace, I think that's technical. Oh, just a hair back. So you'd have to go here, right? If it breaks it on 1, you go back, because that's what the algo will do. If it breaks it on 1, we'll go back to 1. So we get a perfect golden. So you see this algorithm got paid, right? So in the beauty of FX, right, is that these are long-term trends, right? So I always tell people, trading FX, you're best suited 4 hour and above, right? You'll see the Elliott count better. Right? Elliott is pervasive in FX, right? A lot of institutions will incorporate some Elliott, but this algo dominates, right? So you can see it, right? It just dominates, right? We're hovering around the second. That's not tick perfect for whatever reason. This could be algos at a lower degree. We're on the weekly. We should note here, right? Did you have a good trade there? See, this is the thing that's hard to take, right? Could you stay through all of that? That's almost over a year, right? Could you stay short through all of that, right? That's why they use algorithms, right? Because a human being, you're going to be so every little wiggle, right? Remember, we're on a weekly. Possible double bottom. I better take some profit, right? By the time it gets there, right? Software, we eliminate emotion. All of this chop. What do you do with that, right? We're just going nowhere. We're not progressing the trend. So we just have this consolidation, which is not uncommon, right? So if it's going to consolidate here, well, that you probably work some Wyckoff into that. Right, here's the spring, right? And here would be, never the first click, right? So probably your river here. Now break here. Now, God, this is good. Actually, this is good Wyckoff here. So swing, retrace, right? So this is why you don't buy breakouts. You wait for the retest. Okay, is it good? Is it safe? Well, you got a pretty good kick there. Now, that doesn't look like much on a weekly chart, but that's a bigger trade than you realize. All right, that's 546 pips, right? So from here, now, kind of look left, right? Does that make sense? Well, it looks kind of like you bumped into a lot of this prior support, resistance. I'm going to guess that's probably technical. Now I'd go here. A little bit of a front run, could be. Looks like a slight front run on that. That's bigger than you think because it's weekly. They could have. Right, so unrealized target down here on the assumption that that's a front run, you're unfinished here. Now that looks like that's already too far. So if I were to take this, you've already broken the sell side, right? So if I look here, right, we break the sell side, right? So advantage bulls here, but you have it unrealized from the last one we just draw because we have the unrealized target down here. So now does the Elliott help? Okay, so you got all that. I'm looking at it. I see what's going on with the algorithm. I can see what it did last. I got an unrealized target down here. This is too deep, so I don't have a buy side algo here, at least on the weekly. Probably just keep dragging this over. We're still in congestion. Now, are we just retesting this same area as we did right here before we popped, right, and ran into the resistance? So could it be an AB? Well, if this is, right, so look, now can we put it all together? So this median line, these sets of median lines, excuse me, have been framing it very nicely. So actually what I would do here, I'd change that color a little bit. Let me do it that way. Oh, shit, here. Let's go to, I think, yeah. So there's shift, right, in the correction, right? So there note here in the correction here. So we've got this, so the median line gets tagged here. Now we go down to the lower parallel. Now here's the 75%. We're kind of hovering here. So you've got it framing, but I would have done the same thing, right? So I've got a swing, I've got a retrace. So all we're trying to do, right, this is this. Now, are we going to go do this? All right, simplify if you can. It's just a swing with a retrace. Deeper retracement. So I've got good framing of this market here. So if I can get up here, now I do have the odds working for me here, right? As long as this holds. Well, so you have two trading principles at play here. I know I have 80% odds of getting there. So since I missed here, now I got to something like that. As you can see, he's framing that target. Now look where he's framing, right? This would be 127 and 1.5 and coming back the other direction. Again, these are very long term, but the advantage here, right? So we might get that. So A, B, C. So he's got this, and now I'm going to fatten that up as well. She's got the 5 and the 1, 5. Oh, shit. Hopefully you guys can see that. I find those colors are a little hard to spot. Maybe he might have a different background. So, but swing, retrace, right? We don't violate the low. Right? Hear me say this all the time. The market is talking to you when it gets that close to a pivot and it can't get it. Bears are trying to get that. Because they want that fuel. They want those stops, right? With FX, you never know. That could be a liquidity play, just as they did here, right? They ran those stops to grab that liquidity. Market makers rip it up, right? So double tops and double bottoms are almost every pivot in FX, right? Because that's how market makers just rape retail, right? So the breakout traders take it, and then so what happened there just based off of that, just to base off the reaction. They ran those stops and those stops. They grabbed all that liquidity. The breakout traders think, oh, we're going lower. Scream it back in their face. Now we're back again. They want those stops. Can't get them, right? Market can't get them up. That's what causes it, right? So those stops get hit. The shorts have to cover. All right, so do we have anything here we can work with? I go down next to the daily. Oh, that's gnarly. I open that up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like you got a count that's in there. Let's see if it helps. 1, 2, 3. That looks like that's your 4. Okay, so we've got an impulse we can qualify. Looks to me like that's going to be a pretty good one. Almost a 2618, right, which is the range, right? When you're looking for an upper range here, that's a good target for the 3 if you're going to get a big kicker. And you can see this. Remember, the qualification for an impulse is that do I have an impulse in the 3? Well, you can see it pretty clearly. And I got a nice little double bottom. Remember, in FX, right? Double tops, double bottoms almost all the time, right? That's how market makers make their money, right? Someone's got to make those payments in the Hamptons house. Okay, so down here we retail thinks it's going lower, right? They get bent over straight up, right? The reaction off of the double bottom is how you know what just happened there, right? As to how far it goes the other direction, because market makers took all the shorts there, all the people taking a short, and then that's how they make their money. So we got A, B, C, right? So we've got a 5. Right, again, let's simplify if we can, right? So I got a 5 up. Okay, so this would be shallow. We know, and I certainly would pay attention to this, right? This was prior resistance right here. Now, it would be shallow, right? You're looking for it down here. Looks like already you're into a combo, right? Because that looks more like a 3, or this looks like an ABC. So I'd be thinking WX. Now, do I have? It doesn't look like it's done, right? It looks like that's the A. Looks like that's the A going in B, because we need that C. So now this is where you got to make a decision about, what you're willing to let go because it doesn't meet your trading plan. So for me, if I'm looking at that looks like a 5. Well, shit. I mean, it's not looks like a 5. It is a 5. I could probably squinch a 3 in there, but you don't want to do that unless the market is forcing you to. Oh, fuck. Well, this is kind of a cluster, but that looks like that's your 4. So maybe we can do this. Let's see. Let's take it down. Let's go to an 8. Let's see. Can we finish down here? So right off the bat, you don't like the placement, right? Well, you can see it happened again here, right? The stops here. They grabbed all that short, took it. This is gnarly right here. Right? So likely that's a diag that has to finish. That looks like that's the 4, but it looks like you can get it. Right? So you go, shit, I'm gonna have to go to a 4-hour here. 1, 2, 3. That's clearly the 4, right? If it's not going to be an A, B, C, looks like you could get it. 1, A, B, C into the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3. So it looks like you could get it. Remember, you have to have that. So you have to have the impulse in the 3 to qualify it. I can see the impulse here, 4, 5. All right. Looks to me like the A wave is done, right? So I finished here. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just because of all the overlap there, I just immediately think it's a diag. Right? So some sort of a diag finishes there. We go A, B, C into the 4, and we finish with the 5, right? So it looks to me like what we did there was finish the A. So I'd be just kind of watching this, right? These are big swings, and I'm picky about what there's so many things to trade, right? So why? Okay, that could be we're done. That could be the 2. But as I look at that, it looks to me more like I've got WX and I need an A, B, C. Because look at the difference here. Look at how this 3 is very clear, very pronounced. Now, this is already that, you got this, and then you got to finish with this diag, right? You can see it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you finish with an ending diag. So you go A, B, C into the X. Right. Now we're going to finish the ABC here. It looks like it's out of balance. So if you're picky about things, and I can see the 5 down here, so I can see that that's a 3. So you just kind of start, okay, let's qualify these. That looks like an ABC, and I can see that I finish in 5. Now you might have been thinking, hey, because this again, like you'd have been thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I get so here I get another ABC. I get a shallow retrace, but then you start to put things together, and you can kind of see like, oh, okay, I can understand that. We came right back into the prior structure. Prior resistance becomes the support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got an ABC here. It gives me my X. I'd take that up a degree or 2. All right, so there's my X. 3, 3. It's skinny. I want to see one more kick down. Right, so I know there'll be an algo here. So either I'd take the short here, but if you don't like the short for whatever reason, your analysis of the fundamentals or interest rates or whatever they're doing with the Draghi or oh God, who's our new Christ, her name's on the tip of my tongue. It's not God, the French woman. I can't think of her name. Whatever they're talking about with regards to interest rates. So you might be a bull long term. So if you don't want to take that short here, you got to have to wait for it. Lagarde, that's who I'm thinking of. So you might, but if you don't care about the politics or you're not trying to make a fundamental decision, do something like that. Now, I love it. Now it's not, well, could be, I'm not sure. It might be a little skinny. Like I've been doing this for too long to not be picky about what I take. Cause I don't need the trade. I don't need the action. So I'm very picky. It's got to qualify just right for me. Now look at the confluence I'd have. I'd have the median line. I'd have the algo target. I'd have the 50 from the lower. I'd have the pattern that I know that I can recognize. Okay, I got a WXY. Okay, I got the A, right? I can see I finished the A with the 5. Right, I'm not done with the B yet, right? Because all I've done is just go straight up. So it looks like I'm working on the A of the B. Now, if I come down here, I just, right, no hesitation. Right, because I know where I am. I've got all the things that I look for right there. I know right where I am. And now I'm back into that box of consolidation. So if I bring this back out, it's funny, right? As you put things together, you start to see the whole picture start to convalesce and you go like, okay, okay. Right. So sometimes you don't see it at first. It's working through all of it. And you go, oh, okay, now that makes sense. Now look what I'm doing. I'm coming right back here to this consolidation range. Yeah, I had the little breakout, but then I got shut back down and pushed right back into it. Now, can we test it again? Would that be an obvious level to find? So not only do I have the 50, I have just a glaring level of potential, right? It's always just that potential support as the prior resistance. Now I got a trade that I can dig into. And it's a trade that I can take and have some pretty meaty targets up here. There's first target right there. And if that's what we're doing, put the whole thing back together, shit. If we're coming down, we're finishing the triangle down here and we're going to go, and this is a ripping impulse. Now I'm going to correct that. Remember, all I'm trying to do, I know that's crowded in there, but at its largest degree, all we're doing is that and looking for that because that's all the market ever does. All that complexity is just to get to the simplification of a swing with a retrace. All of that, right? This is We got to do that as, I think we did. I think Dave did that as a chart challenge, didn't he, Monty? Somebody said, let's see how you label that. I wouldn't, why? Well, you know, shit, it doesn't even matter. This, you can't, that, there are times when the market's going to do that. We just go, is it helping me to label that? No, it's not. So why am I going to pull my hair out over that? Can I see an impulse come out of it? Yeah, I sure can. Okay, I'll focus over here. Can I see where the next opportunity to get long is? Yeah, I can. Does it have all the criteria that I'm looking for? Pattern, price, geometry, fib relationships, prior support resistance, even more prior support resistance, everything there. And even still, you don't have to pick the turn. Just get the reaction. Wait for the little micro retrace. Here, I'm on a daily, go down to an hourly, get the little retrace. You know where your stop is. Now, you got to be careful in FX, right? So the most dangerous time for your trade in FX is when you first go in the market, because market makers are going to immediately try and get you out. That's just the way the game is played. You have to be aware of that. So you have to start small, right? So when I trade FX, I'm always layering, because I know that, because I've been, I've had trades where you come in the morning and you say, that didn't get anywhere near my stop. How could I be stopped out? Right? But if you look at, they'll widen the spread to get you, right? There's a lot of fuckery in FX, right? So you have to be aware of it. Again, that's how the game is played. So right? We don't make the rules. We're just trying to play the game. So when you go in, you have to go small so you can give it more room, to where they couldn't just widen the spread to get you out. You have to give it room. So when it starts to go your way, then you can start to look for those strategic adds. Now I can add a little here. I still may not move the stop, or maybe I cut it in half, because you have to give it room. Now I can add a little more. Now, if it starts to go my direction, I can add a little more. Right now, once it gets far enough away, now I can move the stop up here, and I got a free trade. Now I can wait and see. Okay, do I come out of that? Is that the one? Now, do I want to give back 50% of it? Or do I want to take that, right, and reload here, because I'm thinking for the 3? Now, once I've got this, what's the first thing I'm going to do? I don't have it, but just giving you the example. Now here, I'd go original recipe. I tighten that up. Now I can frame it, just like I'm framing this one down here. There's a logic to it that hopefully you get. And then be picky. I get trading for the action. I get it. Shit, I was a broker for 10 years. My job was to provide it. I used to tell people my job was adult entertainment. It wasn't financial gain, because people would call me up. They were bored in their job and like, what's moving today? What do we got? Oh man, look at the beans. My job was to make it exciting for them. I kid you not, right? That I understand trading for the action, because it's a little buzz, little dopamine hit. Whoa, man, I'm in the action, right? The dopamine fires in your brain. You're like, God, this is fun. The objective is, well, you might be in here to have fun. If you're in here to treat this as a business, well, sure, you're going to have more fun on winners than losers, but your goal, right? I always remind you, the goal is not to be right more than you're wrong. The goal is not to nail the TA. The goal is to be profitable over time. The only path to that is disciplined money management. All the puzzle solving, that's the fun. You want to be a professional, you want to be consistent over time, money management. Right? You don't move stops. You have a trading plan. You have targets. You're picky about what you trade, and you don't trade for the action. Let me keep moving here. Wu Wonka is bringing in some crypto, because I got just a couple more. Okay. Bear with me, guys. Here, we'll keep going. What do I got next? Okay. So Wu Wonka is giving me something in crypto.
I bet his chart's going to be pretty messed up because.
Oh, no, because he's good. He's going to.
No, because Bitcoin just hit 42,000.
Oh, it did just dump.
Yeah.
42. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful to see, right? Because this whole time we've just been waiting for the bloody correction.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, right? So I drew this up last night. So, okay, well, there's the base. Here's the other base. Look, right. It just, and what else just happened, right? So I'm going to digress here, right? But you look across crypto Twitter, right? Everybody's wildly bullish. Oh my God, El Salvador bought $20 million worth of Bitcoin. They bought 400 Bitcoin, whatever. I saw the news this morning, right? So people go, oh, well, shit, if they're buying, we're going to the moon.
Yeah, I think there was a Twitter campaign too that.
Reddit. They were trying to do it. Everybody was going to buy 30, right? So
yeah, exactly, $30. So I'm like, that's a perfect time to just slam it down on people.
Yeah, right. You know, you're going to buy 30. Everybody on Reddit's going to buy $30 of Bitcoin, and you're going to fight a whale. Sorry, probably not.
Yeah.
Okay,
Here, I'm going to give you plenty of Bitcoin to buy. Here it comes.
Yeah, right. I know. God, the number of all the shit comments that I've taken for that, waiting for that. Right. Oh, this shit doesn't work in Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't put. Well, I'll save that for Friday. Boy, I'm going to tee off on a few people. Okay, so what do I got here? What's he giving me? Money. What the hell am I? Oh, comp USDT. He's giving me a bull bear count. I got it. Okay, so let me copy this here. Shit, I'm losing people here if I digress. Interesting, right? That's an interesting rip. But already look at the reaction, right? How quickly it was gobbled up. Okay, so what is he giving me? He's giving me comp. What does he mean? Comp. He wants it here?
He just says bull and bear count. So he's got one on the left, one on the right.
Is it on Bitcoin? When he says
well,
comp,
check on the right side. See if he's got two different accounts there.
Comp USD perpetual.
Right. So does he have a bull and a bear count?
No, because I've got Bitcoin on the other side.
No, but just on the right side.
Right, so I've got this. What the fuck? I'm not following what he's doing. Let me start over here where I can get a handle on. Oh, I got. What do I got? The burrito count. Okay, so well now Wu Wonka, he's a skilled Elliottician here, so he's having a little fun. So let me do this. Get this out of here. I guess there we go. All right, so sharp sideways. Right, so good, right? So that's good to do for yourself. So you go, oh, okay, I can see the impulse that I've nailed up here, and it meets those guidelines that I'm looking for. Right? It's just all that much more conviction. Oh, sharp followed by sideways. Oh, probably a good candidate here that I've got an completed impulse. Now, right? If I think I've got a completed impulse and I get a screaming 5 comes right down to the golden zone, am I thinking 1, 2? Probably not, right? You're thinking, oh, wait, I need the B, right? It's because I got to finish that. I need 3, right? So I can't go 5, 1, right? And I suppose there's some back ass way you could get there to have this be an A, B, C, but it doesn't look like you need to, right? So A comes down in 5, and I get 5 that screams up here. So likely not the 2. Right. You got to be careful about. I have to be careful about my language. It's not that this couldn't happen, right? It can't possibly happen, right? Well, that's never what we're saying. It's just less likely. So note what happens here. We scream all the way up here, so we get this. Oh shit! Do I have the copy? Yeah. So we scream all the way up here. Okay. Now we're going to the moon. Golden zone. All right, I can't make this stuff up, guys. Right now, no, not the 618. Golden zone comes out of there with a 5. Well, it's likely, right? Likely not. The correction's done because I can't go 5, 5 unless I've got a 3 to finish this. So maybe you're trying to force in an A, B, C, but already you want to avoid that, right? It's only if the market you're having to work backwards and you're like, God damn, man, I have to get a 3 in there, and you got to squeeze it in. Okay, right. So again, Elliott's not perfect. Don't expect perfection, but you can find it where it's going to meet all the guidelines and rules, right? The shit, we find them every day. So if this comes up here, now this is really tricky work, right? It's good work. Wonka, this is nice stuff here. So he's going A, then he's going B. Now look what he's got to do here. So we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got a diagonal. Now we come down. Let me zoom in there so you can see it. All right, but I like this wedge that he's got in here. So we go 5 down. Oh shit, that's hard to see. I got to make that a different color. Let me go in pink here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I get 5 followed by 5. So what am I doing? Well, that's tight. Where he's trying to go 1, 2. God damn, I gotta. Oh shit, I don't have the copy. Son of a bitch. Can I? No, that's not it. How do I copy this? Oh, I know why. Marty, how do I get this copy?
No, that one's yours. You've already saved it.
That was the copy. Did I copy it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if this takes out that high. I guess it doesn't.
You may have it locked. Is the only thing.
Oh, that could be. It looks like it's.
Well, also the top left. See your little thing that looks like a sniper's cursor. Top left, very top left.
That
right
one?
there. Click that, and go to arrow. And
I'm
click that and
just trying to
delete.
see if he took that. I can't see. It won't let me put a line on it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now I got it. Okay. So let's see. That's about as close as they can be. That looks like it tags it. Jesus, I can't even see it, right? So can this be the 2? Yeah. Oh, it looks like it can. Boy, that's cool. All right. So with the zoom in, right? So we have it, right? So as long as it doesn't overlap, it can still be a 2. All right. So let's come back out. I would have been very shocked if he had missed that. Okay. So 1 skinny, there's the 2. So we're starting on this coming down. Okay. So note the nice wedge here as it breaks that, right? This is just good work, right? So we clearly, was there any question as to whether or not we had resistance up here? So up we go, right? We hit it again, right? So when you can't, right, bulls are trying to get through there, right? There, because there's stops here. That's the fuel, right? How do I get legs to get up? The fact that they can't get through it, market's talking. Okay, so could that be our 3? Well, we know we got a good probability of making that median line. Always an algo on the other side. I'm going to assume that's what he's got marked off here. 50 gold. Oh, he's got the golden zone marked off. Okay. So he's already ahead of me here. So he's got this nailed down. So we've got a candidate here to go 1, 2 for the 3 to get to median line. It doesn't have to stop here, right? We could go here. So anything in here, we're looking for impulsive. Right now we're on the daily, so we have to qualify it. So can we get an impulse in that 3rd? Well, it looks like you're just getting started. It actually looks like you got a 1, 2 that's already getting started, because see how that's been gobbled up already. Oh shit, let's try the 8. It looks like that's just a waterfall, like it just went. So why does that happen in Bitcoin? So all the stops are getting hit. Right? They're just hammering, right? Liquidation. God, I have some software that shows me the liquidations here, but I won't digress into that here. So there's liquidations all the way down from people that are getting levered out, right? So bad news for them, right? Because for how long have we been in this sideways? I keep saying, well, I wouldn't buy up here. This is a higher risk spot to buy, and I'll wait for is just what I was just talking about. You got to be patient, right? So Bitcoin's been doing this up, and people are like, oh, fuck, you're missing it, man. You missed it. You fucked it up. It doesn't work in Bitcoin. And I'm just going, guys, maybe it goes, but this would be a high risk spot to be a buyer. Why not wait for the retracement? Because it will come. It always does. Everybody's a genius in a bull market. Okay, so we got 5. Now we're coming down here. There's not enough meat here yet. I got a big rejection wick, right? So this is, again, the market's talking. That's 1 serious rejection. Right, so bulls aren't having it, right? But we got to, can this shape into something meaningful here? Right now, it's just fear and greed, right? So fear, holy fuck, greed. Look where we can buy it. Because, Elliott doesn't work in Bitcoin, right? Fear and greed. That's all. That's what you're seeing right here, right? Liquidation. Oh my God. I got to get out. Oh, look where I can buy it. Greed. All right, let's let this thing shape up, right, in terms of where this is going to go. So this is a big reaction. So this is going to be a big shock across all of crypto, right, because everybody's been balls to the wall bullish, right? Oh, my God, we've got a correction. How can that be? So I'd let this shape. You need something here. Okay, maybe I got to start on something, but that's already, like, the kickback here is so severe. I'd want to see some more development here. So my comment would be, if you didn't short it, and if what you're looking for is the buy, when I'm going to guess he's looking for the buy. Right, where's the buy? Right, he's got targets way down here, right, which is tied to what is that tied to? Right, see, this is what a disciplined trader is going to do. Okay, I've got a completed impulse. What are we trying to do? Right, that's all the market ever does. Right, a lot of complexity in the middle of that. So, well, this one, we're just trying to do the same thing. Right, just back and forth, one side to the next. This looks like we broke. Is that golden zone there? He would have marked that. Oh, God damn. Well, he must have marked it, right? So again, guys, I cannot make this shit up. So look where all the resistance is. So do you think that's people doing that? You think there's a guy at a bank somewhere, at a hedge fund going, well, I'm going to wait till it gets right into that golden zone, and then I'm going to sell the shit out of it? No, No, that's not what's happening. That's software, right? They defend at the golden zone. Defense, right? Markets talking you. Where's their target? Right? That software doesn't give a shit about you or anything else. It's going to stay short until it gets there. That doesn't mean it's going to get there, but they're going to that piece of software is going to stay short until that target is hit or it gets stopped out. So how might that happen? Always an algo on the other side. Always, right? That's a little far for a front run. So my guess is we're not done here. But you can see where he's got a target, right? Maybe that'd be a good target for his 3. 1, 2, 3. We get a resistance. Now, what do you get? You get a fib fight, right? 2 pieces of software battling it out. Happens all the time, every day at every time frame, right? There's always an algo on the other side. So there's always a fib fight. If we get down there, I sure as hell am going to pay attention to this, right? If we get that, I'm going to pay attention to it, right? Because you got 80% here, just like you got 80% here, right? But it's not 100%. One of these is going to hit their 80%. So how would you make that distinction? Well, shit, man, you're telling me either one could do it. Either one's got 80%. How the hell am I going to know? Well, you're not going to know. But that's where the Elliott Wave can guide you. What's most probable? Well, I got a 1. I got 5 down. I'm likely not done. So the odds are that at the very least, this is going to get tested. Over something like this we're going to get likely, right? That likely, not inevitably, likely there's some sort of test down here. Look, we got all of this to test, right? All of that. We've been here before. Huh, what happened here? Reaction got through. Right now, is it support again? If we go down, I promise you that'll be, I don't think it'll let me do that. Maybe that'll be the resistance. If we come down, I'm going to buy the fuck out of that. Tricky, right? Finally, we get a correction, right? It's sitting right. But see, if you're that guy, who's back here going, oh man, come on, this thing's going. Everything I read on crypto says we're going. El Salvador is buying. Shit, I'm just going to long it because I don't want to miss out. Fear of missing out. I waited. I missed it. I didn't do it. I'm just going to buy it. It's just the nature of the markets, right? And I can't tell you how many comments I had. Oh, you're so fucking wrong. This is bullshit. You don't know what you're doing. You're missing all of that. And I'm just going, okay, buddy. Okay, my friend, take it if you want to. I'm just telling you, after 30 years of doing this, it's not that it can't get through, but that's a low probability place to be entering the market. Not that it can't get through. Not that this wasn't a good trade. This was a beautiful trade. Beautiful trade. A little unusual, a little shallow for a 2, but you can see all the structure it bumped into. That's a beauty trade. But did you take profit there or were you loading it up there because everybody on crypto Twitter is so bullish? I'm going to add right here. Fuck the golden zone. Screw the fact that there's a shitload of resistance up here. I'm longing it because I want to be rich. That's called greed, right? Greed. What happened to him? Oh my God. Now fear. It's all Elliott Wave is tracking. It's not about the underlying. It's about the people trading it.
We had a super chat for uranium if you wanted to do that.
Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely. Well, so I'll circle back there. How am I doing on time? Okay, I got 20 minutes. I got to be tight on time today, guys. I got my daughter in town. Okay, so Woo Wonka, we good here, right? So this is great work from you, Woo Wonka, right? I'm surprised you didn't put 12 arrows on the golden zone there, although you did have that line, right? But there it is, right in your face, guys. Like in your face. Don't buy into a golden zone. It's just not worth it, right? You're going to get through it sometimes, right? One side, always, right? Don't enter the market there. That's all I was saying through the whole thing. All right, let me Woo Wonka, we're good there. Let me get Mecha to Taku. I got image, I got link. Okay, let me take that. And then I will be sure to circle back for the super chat. Okay, Tesla, never a dull moment in Tesla. All right, let me copy that. So Mecca is going to give me good work here. Okay, we just had earnings, right? So good reaction there. We've got a 4-hour. We've got the ghost profile here. That's really skinny. Well, see, he's drawn that in. So he's taking the swing here and he's looking for the volume profile. And of course, you can just look right here is all the meat of that. So we've got, it's not unlike what we were looking at. Shit, I can't remember the asset where we were just going side. I think it was silver, right? So it was the last one we were just looking at. Okay, so what are we doing? We're just going sideways. W, shit, it's the same count as silver. A, B, C, right? So could be, right? So, you see, this is how the Elliott helps you. So you could be thinking here saying, oh, sure, okay, well, that's some sort of ripping impulse here. We've got some major rip here on the 4 hour. I'd need to get this all in context, but that looks like a triangle. So that's likely a 4 kicker in the 5. Okay. A, B, C. Well, now at that right there, you're thinking, okay, I'm long in the hell out of that. Did you see me catch that, Monty? I'm going to buy the heck out of that. Okay. So ABC into a W, right? So you could have been thinking, oh, 1, okay, 2, but it's a little shallow. Okay, we're coming right. We did this here. We got a low volume node here. That's the one little tell here. We got a low volume node here, right? So if it's gonna low volume node, it's either it puts a toe in and quickly rejects it because the market doesn't have acceptance there, or it cuts through it like butter and goes right to the high volume node. Well, here we got the rejection, right? You pay attention, right? So if it turns, it'll turn right on the edge of it, usually. Right, there are no absolutes in trading, but usually right on the edge of the larger volume profile, like it'll ting right on the edge of it before it drops into the hole, because the hole it'll drop to the other one. So we got ABC, right? So you've got a nice flat running. Oh yeah, we got a nice flat here. Well, we're a little shallow in this, so let's stick with a zigzag. So because we have a 5, 3, 5, right? So we got to stay with a zigzag that double bottoms. Okay, so all right, we're coming out of here. You might have been thinking here, a little tricky here. You might have been thinking 1, 2. Oh, look, because it looks like I got an impulse here, right? DQ. Now you're thinking, hey, maybe I got a diagonal coming out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be, right? So you've got an alternate there, but in the context of the way he's putting the whole thing together, right? We've got a W, right? So we're if the W is in play and is going to be the way we end up counting this, because I don't have a clean impulse coming out of here, maybe a diagonal, but that just looks better as the way he's counting it. So I've got 3 into the W. I've got a sideways X, a little shallow for the X, but it'll work right into the prior structure here. Oh, that's just his double bottom. I see what that is. So double bottom here, A, B. Now we're looking to complete the X. So the whole thing is just this, right? That's what we're doing at the largest degree, but we're doing it through a combination, right? Now to short this is a ballsy trade, right? So you have to have conviction in this trade. You have to really lean into the TA and have conviction in the work that you've done, right? So per the WXY, this makes sense. So, but that said, right, because I know Mecca is now trades like a professional, he's not going to give this a shitload of room. And if you're trading with options, no reason to ride that. Your anticipation is that the golden zone holds. Now he's got 100 in here, which I'm going to, oh, that's what it is. All right. So look at the nice little confluence here. It's length of the W projected from the proposed X. Here's his 100, right? So it's right just beyond the golden zone. Right. So with that, and I think this is what he's implying here. So I've got prior structure here that clearly came into play. Prior support became the resistance. Now, does it become resistance again? Well, the count would support this. So this is where you got to take that with conviction. You can't be mealy mouthed. Well, I think maybe it could be kind of. Well, if it is, no. If you're going to take that trade, if you're going to short Tesla, which right off the bat takes balls. If you're going to take that trade, you're going to be disciplined about knowing or having a point where you say, I know I'm wrong, I'm out. Why would you short Tesla? Well, the risk reward here was phenomenal. That's the reason you do it. And maybe you do it with options. Right? And my guess is you would, right? You'd do that with options. You could do shorter term stuff, right? You're looking here, that's out to, you got, you could go do 60. I tell you, if you can do it, right? People don't like to do it because it costs more, 90 days for an option, because you don't get eaten by the time to get. So if you take a 90-day option, right? People don't like to do it because it's going to cost more money. But look, the market's been grinding higher, right? So what's going to be more expensive? The calls are going to be more expensive. The puts will be more reasonably or priced appropriately. You may not get undervalued options because people love to short Tesla in the options market, but you're going to get a fairly priced put. So if this completes this final little impulse here at the golden zone at that 100, and I'd add the 707 and I'd use that as I'm out. I'm wrong because the X can go higher, right? The X doesn't have to pause here. And we've got that 100. The last stand would be the 707 to the bear count. And then you'd have to be back here thinking, well, damn, maybe it is an impulse, right? So because I've got ABC, that could be a 1, right? So you'd be back to, you'd remove the WXY. You'd be back to 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's in a diag, we're looking for a series of 3s. So this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you'd have a leading diagonal coming out of this pivot low, leading diag into the 1. That would be uber bullish, right? Because if that's the 1, we're going to get the 2, the big 3. We're going well past that pivot. Now, I know Wu Wonka is a good enough technician that he'd be aware of that alternate. Right? So I'm not giving him anything that I'm absolutely sure he's considered. But you'd have a spot here, right? So as we were just talking about before, I want to buy it. I want to enter the market. Let me say it that way, because here we could be buying puts, but I want to enter the market as close to that point where I know I'm wrong as I possibly can. Boy, are you doing that there? Right? You're not giving that a whole lot of room, right? But if I get the turn, look at my risk reward, right? You can be wrong a lot of times taking a swing like that. How many would that offset, right? If you got that, that's massive, right? We'd be going, shit, that's $200 in Tesla. Now, is it going to do that? Well, there's no reason it couldn't. But if it doesn't, right? If we come out of here and you get this, and this comes down into 3, right? And then we start to go again, you're going to have to acknowledge the potential that we've got a diag, right? Which I know Mecca would, right? Because he's a good technician. Okay, let me keep moving. I think I just got Mr. Jack. Is that all she wrote? Oh, okay. So there's some late entrants here that are taking advantage of seeing what's happening in crypto. Okay. Bear with me, guys. Here, we're almost done. How am I doing? I got 10 minutes. Okay, we're good. So with this, and then I'll circle back to the super chat. Oh, shit, I got to do this here. Hang on. Why is it as soon as you hurry, you take longer? What are you giving me, Mr. Jack here? Litecoin? Are you giving me Litecoin? Lending Club. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. He's been
it's an update
this.
To his lending club. He's curious if that's the top.
Yeah. I know he's been trading this. Well, I have not been paying attention to what the broader market's doing today because I've been just focused on this. My guess is the equities are down. Okay, so 1, 2. Do we have a 3 in here? Let's see. Let me go back. You're giving me the hourly. I always have to pull back a little bit to get some context. Okay, Mr. Jack, I don't have to worry about the quality of his work, right? He's been with us for a while. I've seen dozens of posts from him, so I know the work's going to be good. So I don't have to worry about critiquing the Elliott. It's just, as he's asking, are we done here? Well, it's 1, 2. That's what did we do on the 2? I don't know. Looks like we did a pretty good 2 here. If I pop that in there. Okay, right. Where's our high probability zone for a 2, right? This is what you're waiting for. Come on down, right? So I've got an algo behind my back. Did this algo get paid? Boom, right there. We got a corner here, right? It's not a golden corner, but we get a corner pocket. Right? It looks like it just missed there. Boy, you'd have been nervous here, right? It failed to get there. Look at the gap, right? So that's off of earnings, right? So here's the gap, right? So it gaps through the median line. So clearly, right? 80% hit goes up to the upper parallel and beyond. There's the 150 or that's the 50. That's going to be the 150. So all the criterion, all the TA that you applied here, it all got hit. By the way, what did we get here? Within the corner, we got a golden corner. Did that get hit? Right? It blew right through it. Right? Because here was so you got 80 on top of 80. Again, how could you possibly ever put up a chart that had a swing and a retracement, particularly if it went golden, and not use median lines? Why would you not do that? That's hard for me to understand why anyone would not every single chart. It's the first thing I'm looking for, right? Where's the retrace? Oh, can I get some median lines on it? Can I frame? Where's the geometry? So what did we get here? From this, right, we got first target, second target. Remember, there are multiple targets for that algorithm. Okay, so let's dig in there. And now I'm going to go to the 2 and see, well, this is going to get gnarly. Okay, so let me dig in here. So I'm going to, since we got that, I'm going to hide that one so I can see a little bit better so everybody else can see. Okay, 1, 2, 3, looks like expanded flat, nice work. Mr. Jack. I don't have to worry about his Elliott. Okay, so we're so far past that. I'm going to hide that one. Sexy, right? Do you see how it's just process of elimination, right? So because we get a 5 here, working backwards, well, I can't finish the correction. This can't be the swing retrace, right? It has to be tied to something, right? Because I have to finish in a 5. So you got to work backwards. Oh, could it be an expanded B? Yeah, it could, right? 3A, B, expand the B down for the C, right? So you get it's just another shape, right? It's just this goes here. Now, did we come out of here? What do we do again? Right? God, Jesus, algos are all over this, right? So how many golden zone, right? From the corner at the 50. Look how technical this is. So if you saw a retracement, why would you not put the 50 in the golden zone on, right? How would somebody not do that if you've watched 10 of my videos? It defies logic to me how anybody could say, oh shit, I know exactly what happened there. We know the 100. Let's see. So we got 1, 2, and then I can qualify. Note here, and as he's done, he's qualified the 3rd. So do I have the candidate here for an impulse? 1, 2. Well, I qualified the 3 because I've got an impulse in there. Got a little 4. Okay, good. Now, what am I done? Right. So what would I have completed here? Is this 3, 4, 5? Well, I don't know that I would be ready to go there just yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just tee it up. All right, so here's where we can just use these relationships that tend to repeat. Get you back up here. I'm going to right click on that. Okay, so if this is my 4, right? I'm sure he's already done this. Yeah, he has, right? So here's his 100. So this is looks like he bought it at the golden zone and he's ridden it up to the 100. That's a high probability location for this 5 to complete relative to this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think if I was in this, I'd certainly be banking some profit here. Look here, you got, I don't like to use that term, but we're over 70, right? It's overbought, oversold is kind of a misnomer here because you can look here, right? As soon as you got there, did you want to be shorting that, right? You don't want to think that way because it can stay up there. What you want to look for is swing divergence. Do I have swing divergence? Tighten that up a little. Now, that doesn't mean, right? So you got to be careful with that. When I say that, I have to remind you, this could pop up here and then you don't have divergence anymore. But right now, that caused that little sell-off, did I have divergence, right? So would that potentially be a place to be shorting? No, right? You don't want to be short. You don't want to be trying to pick the turn. But that's potentially a place to be taking some profit off of this trade. That's a nice trade, right? You don't have to hit the moon shot on every swing, right? That's a nice technical trade in line with everything that came before it. I mean, here was the beauty, right? That was kind of gapped right through all your stuff, right? But, sometimes, right? But this is a little nerve-wracking here, taking it going into earnings. 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, you don't have enough to really call the top, right? What you need to really lean into it is you need evidence, right? You got to show me a lower high. And then, right, so but now if you wait for the lower low, right, you're late to the trade. But we're here, I can take that short or I can buy some puts or however you want to sell a call spread or sell a call spread and buy a put spread. There's all sorts of things you could do here in Lending Club. But you got to get some evidence. Ideally, you'd break the internal swing low, right? So if I do it this way, this would be a qualifier. Okay, there's the last pivot swing low, right? Before I go up into this candidate for the 5 of the 5 of the 5 of the 5. Right, so if I get that, now if I break that, all of a sudden I have a change of character, right? That's Wyckoff language. I get a change of character. Because why? Because on the way up, I got higher highs and higher lows all the way. Now, all of a sudden I got a lower, right? I break that pivot, I've got a lower low. So ideally, this would come out here. You'd break that, and then you'd wait for the retest. That's the trade. Because of why? All right. So it's either going to it's either A, B, C, and we're going to keep going, or it's 1, 2, 3. Right. Remember, in our purple belt, the qualification, right? 50 profitable trades over time. We're only asking you to trade C's and 3s because I want you to focus on the money wave. Can you do it on the money wave? That's where the biggest hits are. Right. So it would make sense. If you can't master that one, the others, you wouldn't want to start. Well, shit, let me see if I can get all the ones in. Let me see if I can trade the 4s. No, right? I want you to trade the 3s and the C's, right? Because if you can do that, then as you get better and more experience, then the others will make more sense, right? But you'll know how to trade the money wave. Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay. All right, and I got 5 minutes. Okay, good work. God, I just am just terribly long-winded all the time. All right, so okay, now I got. So what is it I'm looking for? URA. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, so here's go to futures. Oh, I'm going to guess we're still in September. That's probably where the volume is. I'd have to check it, but my guess is, unless he'd rather I do the continuous contract. Maybe he wants me, here I can do continuous. Let's do that. Let's
do that.
One. Oh, fuck. Come here. Why are you not giving me? Usually going to give me, oh, I know why, because I went UX. I want continuous. There we go. What do I got there? Something's not right there. Do I have my symbol right? UX is my uranium. There's my current, but I'm getting that. Give me a second here. I'm just going to pop over the bar chart and see where the volume is. See if you can find that, Monty. That's why I'm getting a bad. I'm looking over on bar chart to see where the volume is, which is what I use. Right? No mystery there. I'm just checking metals.
He said URA fund.
URA fund. Okay, there we go. Okay. URA fund. So that's going to be
ETF. So the Global X Uranium ETF.
So is it an index?
Just do URA.
URA. Let's do all.
Yeah, and it's going to be the ETF. The
this
second.
It's got to be
that one. That one.
This one, the uranium ETF. There we go. All right. So, all right, let me go out to a daily here. We'll get rid of all those gaps. Okay. All right. We'll get there eventually. Okay. Well, okay. So, do you see the reason you got to do that here? So you got to say, okay, where am I in the big picture? Okay. So I'm going to get rid of that. I would pop this to log just to open it up a little bit. Because if I'm down here, once I go here, it just looks like it's sideways. Yeah, but that's it looks like good Wyckoff, right? There's your spring. So this just process I go through, right? I always want to wick off the lowest low, right? So it makes it easy to grab for when I'm looking for swings. Okay, so this hard to miss this one, right? So looks like you might have to do that way. It looks like it finishes with a diag. That looks like 5 here. We'll have to look at, I've got those tiny little, let's get white here. Can't get it any smaller than that. Looks like you have to go A, B, C into that. No, you have to get it here, right? Because you need the 5. You got to finish with the 5. Okay, so it looks like that's your 2. 1, 2. That's problematic. All right, let's dig in there a little bit. You might be stuck with this. So you might have to do this way. So there's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're going to have a tiny C here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're good on the 1, 2, and that looks skinny, but only getting the 38 on the 2. It's not like we don't see it. Excuse me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So you can get it. 1, 2. This has to be the 4 because this is such a cluster up here. You're going to have to do it this way. That's got to be all diagonals because which I look at that. It's just because of all the overlap, right? So it's not an impulse. So it's likely a diag. So let's take that down a degree and we'll put that here. Just force a habit and do it that way. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B. It's like this has to be the 4. Okay, so let's look at this here. First, we start with the 2 through the 3, see how we look. All right, so there's a perfect 50. That's skinny for a set of median lines because the 4 is so severe. Right, so you've already got your 80%, right? So ideally, you want them to be a little deeper, but this is right? That's news driven. This is whether it's supply issues, but the ETFs don't do that without something driving it fundamentally. Right? That's likely not a technical trade, but in fact, there's an algo there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there's not much subdivision here, but it looks like you got a 1, 2. So let's try the 4. It gets kind of ugly when you break these down. So right off the bat, it looks to me like you got a little 1, 2 in there. It looks like you're still working on the 3. You just got gaps here. 3, 4, 5. So candidate here, maybe, but let's have some better targets here. So just as we were doing before in terms of targeting for the 5, let's not assume a top just yet. So let's use some fib relationships that we know are consistent. So I might do it that way. Okay, so we're already through all of this. The length of the 1 projected from the 4, since the 1 is shallow relative to the depth of the 4, right? This is deep for a 4, not a disqualifier by any means. You can see why, right? Prior resistance becomes our support. So we've got an algo at our back here, right? We know this is right. This is dominant. This is dominant. So the 2 to the 3 gives us dominant. And so I can qualify this with an extension in the 5th. So I know I've got an algo at my back right here with a target right here. So I've got, this is in play. That algo is looking for, I'm going to just push it off right there. So they're looking for that, which is coincidentally right in line with our 1618, 175. But so the one possibility here is that this is all just going to stay internal here. So this actually could have some bigger legs here. I wouldn't assume anything other than with the break of this. So you've got your breakout traders are in. Now I'd be anticipating because of that, right? So I'd be looking for any sort of weakness here to come back, and I'd look for just pretty standard. I'd be wicking off some potential support zones that the market has demonstrated. It'd be looking for past. So either of those would be areas that I'd be looking for. Really, if you're long, keep your hands off your mouse. Right, that's the hard part. If you're in it, now the question is, right, can you lever it? Can you get more action out of it? Well, I can just looking at how shallow the 1, 2 is, you're going to be well past the 2618 here. So just let this thing run. What's below? Look how far that RSI is. Right, 92. So look historically, right? Do you see a 92 that stays there? What do we get here? 90 doesn't stay there. Right. So if you're in it, right, the temptation would be, well, maybe you pocket a little bit here, but it looks like you're on the high, right? So, there's a line of thinking that you want to sell it when it's on the way up, right? So you might anticipate because of that you just be looking for any sign of weakness here to try and get into the 5. All right. That's what I would do. I would kind of look, I'd be looking left, maybe you fatten this up. Okay. These are logical areas where I might anticipate, right? I didn't get much of a 2. So you'd look for something a little bit more in the 4, right? It doesn't have to be that fat, something like that. If you're trailing with a stop, you might use the other side of that gap. Oh, again, same kind of thing, right? And the only reason you'd be cautious is just historically, right? Rarely do we stay there, right? So that there's got to be some supply shock, some reason. If you're in it and you're interested in this ETF, my guess is you've done you've done your research. There's a reason for you to be here other than just this straight rip higher. So with that said, I'd be trailing with a stop. You might use you don't have anything to work with here, so you're gonna have to look left and say, okay, well, if it comes back down to that, maybe I'll bank some profit. If not, if I get a little retrace, I'd use all of these actually. I'd be looking for any of these to potentially be an area where I might find a reaction, right? Because the people that caught this, right? So now, ideally, this goes a little higher, right? So then you could use, if it goes high, you can use the push up. That would be perfect, right? You get the 4 right here. If you can get this to keep going, algo gets its target, you can anticipate the reaction, right? Because that algo is going to take some profit there. Now this would be just balls perfect, right? You get that, right? To and through, heading towards second target, right? Second algo target. As I said, the median lines are so narrow. You've already hit it. So I would just move this off a little bit. You're still going. This is the only cautionary point. Let's go out to the daily, see what it looks like. Okay, so it's been higher before. I would use this maybe as a guideline as well. Can I get that? You hit that, I'd be looking for that 3 to top. Again, just look back historically, right? Have we ever done it before? Well, shit, I could do it this way. Okay. Have we done it before? Well, these are unusual times, right? But that's an anomaly to be that far, right? So if it got to that, boy, that would be a perfect, well, then you'd likely be hitting your algo target. You'd be hitting the prior all-time high, the RSI. That might be a good place to bank some profit. At least take a partial, right? It's always a good idea when you're in a trade like this that's ripping and maybe you caught the turn, right? I hope you did, whoever this is. I hope you caught the 50 and it's just been ripping higher. Even if you were late to the party, right? It's gone so far, you've got a nice trade on your hands. So now it's just a matter of how much can I get out of it? Again, I don't know I don't know why it's doing that. My guess it's some sort of supply shortage. But if that's the case, right, it's not likely to be done here, right? There's going to need, we want to finish with a 5, right? I don't really have a 5 yet. So I'd be looking for that 3 to top. I'd bank, if it's me, I'd bank 70% of my profit right there because of this.
He said he's long 2022 25s because the underlying was 20.
Okay. All right. So you got a good trade on your hands. Let me push this off a little bit. I'd use that, right? Just wick that off, put an alert on it. If it gets that high, then I'd bank at least 60% of it, of what you've got, because you're anticipating, you don't want to give it back. You're anticipating the 4. You don't want to give all of it back. Well, shit, this might be 30, 40% of what you've got. He's long where? At the breakout?
If you look in chat, I'm long 2022.
20 right here. Okay. So he's here. So he's got a good hit here. Let that keep going, right? And there's no signs of anything. There's no sign of weakness there. You just got a straight bullet train. Let it go. Like, at least maybe if you got a little, you don't anticipate that you're going to get the pivot high. That shouldn't be your goal. Your goal is to get as much out of this until there's evidence that it's starting to soften. You might look to go down to some smaller time frames here, even if we go to the hourly. Do you have any signs of any divergence here? Well, maybe, right? But I would use the daily, right? Particularly on an ETF. I'd use the daily as your guide for when we're really pushing extremes on the RSI. And then let's see, we'll get some channeling on this. We could certainly do this. All right, so you now got another target, just more confluence targeting this upper pocket right here for that 3. And if you can get that, it's just right back to the center line. That's what I'd be going for. But right now, I would just let it run. Right, it's hard to do when you have a nice trade on your hands because you're so tempted to want to take it. All right, hopefully that's helpful. But that's what I'd be looking at, and I would use the daily as my guide. Did I get everybody?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So on my chart, I just did a couple of Monty pulls for uranium. I've got biggest resistance I've got is at 30.22, and then I've got 41.37. So let it rip. That's right. But Mark, if you're in Discord, give me a shout, and I'll do a chart for you as well because you donated. So. Anyway, Sam, you got to run, and tomorrow's my day. So, you still there, Sam?
I had my mute on. That's a good segue to join us tomorrow, right? Where you'll get my partner's approach, which is different than mine. There's a lot of overlap here, but he's got really unique approaches to geometry and using median lines. I would encourage you to participate in that. And he keeps it open to any asset class. And so members will be posting all sorts of stuff, and you'll see different things, right? We don't want to be a one-trick pony. So I would encourage you to participate in that. I do have to run. I got to run my daughter somewhere. So I'm going to scoot. Thanks, guys, for participating. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Monty. I'm going to take off.
All right, Sam, see you. All right, guys, just to remember or reiterate that we've got our Labor Day sale. We're going to run it through tomorrow night. And so you'll just jump on TradeDevils.com and use these coupon codes here if you're interested. You can always join for free, of course. But anyway, we'll we'll see you tomorrow, and Monte Crypto Wednesday. That'll be starting at around 9:30 to 10. So we'll see you there. See you guys. Have a good day.